guess what? It's Secret Santa time again. This joke was done when I did it last year. You'd think I would have learned. I do want to work safely and be a good example for my kids, so on goes the dust mask and safety glasses and earmuffs and of course rollerblades. Well, maybe not the rollerblades. This awkward shot of my butt is brought to you by Carhartt. Not officially, but Carhartt, if you're watching and you like what you see, get a hold of me. Maybe we can talk. My main goal with this planer sled was to get it flat across the whole thing. I don't care about it looking pretty yet, so the burn marks are fine. I'll deal with those later. I don't even need to come all the way to the very end. As long as most of the board is perfectly flat, I can take the screws out of the corners and reference the rest of the passes off of that flat face, and it'll flatten everything out. Come on. Quite the difference. You may have also noticed I took off my sweatshirt. That's because, well, outside it's nice chilly, like 36 degrees. Inside, it's at least 37 or 38, so I was getting a little warm. This board came from a black cherry tree that we actually cut down in our front yard of our old house. We had it planed down and milled up, and it dried for a couple years, and here it is. If I were to cut this as it is on the saw, as soon as I make this cut, there'll be a gap here and it'll want to pull it into the blade. So I'm going to clamp this down before I go to cut it. Let's try it again, but going the right way. That's big. Am I good? Here's a quick trick for getting your board just the way you want it. You know, if it's flat here, then just clamp a level onto it and move the level until you got it at the right height, or level-ish. Then I'm gonna find my pencil, make a mark, so that will be nice and straight across. And there you go. Smooth. Look at that. That's a little smudging, that'll sand off. This is probably going to be covered by the play button itself. So you'll see some of this grain coming in and out, and then the play button. So unless I take the time to stabilize this bark with like an epoxy that penetrates in and locks it into place, it's going to eventually fall off. And I don't want that to happen. The more barky it looks, the easier it's going to come off. With some, I think this is 60 grit sandpaper, just to, it helps if you throw it on the ground. And I'll come in with a higher grit and just smooth that out. So apparently I didn't record, but I kind of freehanded the approximate size that I wanted this to be. Look something like that. What do you think? Should I just glue that on there? I think that'd look pretty good, right? So I got it placed about where it needs to be, measured from each side, make sure the reveal is the same, and just trace it out. Next step is drilling a hole in the wood for the jigsaw. I'm really hoping this works, because if I screw up, you get to see it real time. Goodness. Oh. Did you see that? I just about pooped myself. Oh my goodness. My hand was right here. I still have all my fingers. That's the nice thing. Let's try that again, but with control this time. Oh, goodness. This is sped up considerably now, but I did really take my time doing it after that because I was a little gun shy having the little snafu that I had. I'm using this big router and a tenon bit to basically make a big ledge for the plexiglass to sit on. So I'll do a little pass and go deeper and keep going deeper and deeper until I got the depth that I need. I found an offcut from my ornament that I made for last year's Secret Santa collaboration video, and it is exactly the right size that I need for my triangle. Just gonna sand it down, shape it up a little bit, and this is gonna work perfectly for the triangle part of the play button. So sand away. Off camera, I rough cut this triangle down with my caffeine powered handsaw. I'm taking some 60 grit sandpaper to it. This is my dog Mo. And I moved on to 120 grit and I'll finish it up with this. I put some clear acrylic in the middle of the play button. One, to hold the button itself, and two, in case Matt ever loses his keys or something like that behind the play button, he'll be able to see through it and find them. So there you go. You're welcome. Oh, my 3-year-old can do better with a crayon. That shattered so bad. Filling that outtake reel, you. Look at that. Ah, man. I went back and forth between the miter saw, the sander, even a file. I even may have gnawed at my teeth a little bit just to finally get it to the shape that I needed. All right, let's see. Yes, about time. Whew. Of course I wouldn't be able to get it back out. With a smaller router and a straight edge, I'm just putting in a groove for a LED light strip. That should give it a pretty cool back glow. You want to see what happens when you get impatient and think, oh, I can do a little more than I probably should? Yeah, the router bit grabbed onto all right here. I thought, oh, I can do this whole depth a little wider. So now I gotta figure out how to fix that. Yippee! And now you can watch as I pretend to know what I'm doing with hand tools. I'll start with a pull saw and then I'll move on to chisels to get this hole kind of filled in just right. So I've got this offcut. It was actually the next piece in line in the board. And the grain matches perfectly. So I'm just going to put it in place and trace the lines that I need to cut. And then cut it out with a flush cut saw. And I'll be able to glue it in place. Once that was cut, hit it with a little sandpaper, and it fits like a dream. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm going to use some CA glue and some sawdust, and that'll fill those gaps really nice. Should be barely noticeable. No, come on. All right, I'll put it in the sander. So again, not perfect, but for my purposes, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I slowed this way down. Watch this. This is really cool. Fire! I used my torch and just torched the live edge sides of the wood, and I'll sand it later just to give it some more texture and color. And now I'm just giving it a little bit of a round over so it's softer to touch. So I'm applying Total Boat Halcyon. It's a marine grade varnish and it's water based. It applies really easily and it's recoatable in an hour. So I was able to get a couple coats on this and it's pretty awesome stuff. And it looks beautiful. I'm attaching these little feet just basically to be standoffs from the wall so that the light can have a little bit of a backglow effect. That's pretty awesome. I rated my kids' alphabet stamp set, and I'm using this torch marker to just put basically the chemical onto the wood, and then you hit it with a heat gun, and it burns it in. These are pretty cool. I just made sure to wash my kids' stamps well afterward. It was pretty awesome. Well, maybe not so much. So I got this in better light. Look how terrible that looks. It's like green. It's chippy. I can't send that. That's terrible. So I gotta scrape that off and probably carve it out so it looks, I mean, it's chemically reacting with either the varnish or the wood itself. So I have to stop that reaction by just removing all that material. Oh, it's so frustrating. All right, here we go. Now I'm just taping over the plexiglass, and I'm gonna hit it with some spray lacquer. This will dry much faster even than the varnish did, and it shouldn't have any kind of negative reaction with anything there. I just got my Secret Santa gift from Elm Builds, Ryan Zildenrust. Look at the packaging in this, first of all. He's got a handwritten note in here from me, for me. And that's really cool. So then he's even got specific instructions. This one opened last, so I gotta open this first. I like how he's still got that plaid theme. Go with McMath Woodworks. Very thoughtful, right? That's cool. So there's my play button. It's got McMath Woodworks. This is some beautiful white oak. You can see some Rayfleck in there. It's just beautiful quarter sawn oak, and he made a vise into it. That's cool. There's a bottle opener in here. So let's see what it has in the open last part here. Oh, that is cool. So he's got some nuts in here for me to crack. This is a nut cracker. This is awesome. That's cool. Thank you very much, Ryan. You ready for this? Oh, that's so cool. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you for watching this year's 2023 Secret Santa collaboration video. I had fun building this play button for Cardinal Woodworks, and I hope you had fun watching it. Maybe you learned a tip or trick, a thing or two for what to do, what not to do. I hope you had fun. And please go check out the other videos in the playlist. The other guys that are doing this collaboration are awesome. And we had a lot of fun doing this. So Merry Christmas and God bless. Have a great day. Cool. The way you want it, like just, I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, hello. Oh, bumping the camera, dude. Fire your cameraman. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty.